Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Darkness Within, in pursuit of Loth Nolder. I'm Kamchak Fisco, and come join me for the next stop on the Horror Rush. Alright, nothing there, can't interact with the couch, we can go further over. Nothing over here, can't interact with any of this, so let's head over to the fireplace. So we've got a candlestick... Okay. A candlestick that's missing a candle. Okay. Looks like a face of a deity and... dying people, maybe Armageddon? I can't really tell. It's an oddly pixelated picture, considering I'm running in a high resolution. There's a note written on the back of this photo. It reads, Jonathan and Clark Field. Mr. Field said that he and his brother did not get along. This was the only family picture. This is the only family picture here. Okay. We haven't searched the rest of the house. How could you possibly know that already? Okay, so we can search those two. There's notes there, so let's go ahead and look at the other two photos. This artwork is so weird. Okay then. Sure. Moving right along. These are Mr. Field's notes. So my notes were not the complete set. Okay, so now we have the missing notes. Before we read those, though, I want to go check some doorways. The door's locked. Oh wait, do we have the key? Key doesn't seem to fit. Okay, no, so we don't have the key to that door. Just checking. Alright, does that lead to this room? The door is not locked. I think there's something behind it that blocks it. So we're going to have to unlock the other door to be able to move whatever's in the way to get into that room. So they are interconnected. That's what I thought. Alright, so what do we got here? Some pages of Clark's Field Notes, part 2 of 4. Right-click to read. So how many pages is this? 3 pages and a blank page for some reason. Stop that. Alright. 5/17/2011. For the past 2 weeks I was out of town because of my job. And when I returned, feeling tired, I learned that the restoration had not been completed due to the sounds that some of the workers suggested came from the cellar. This incident made me really angry, and I immediately obtained a strong flashlight in order to find out what those superstitious vagrants may have been afraid of. My purpose was, by using this old rusty ladder, to go down and just take a look down there. But it didn't matter how many steps I took down, the ground continued to be concealed in the claustrophobic pitch darkness of the well. A short time later, I noticed the opening of a horizontal tunnel. I entered the tunnel to check it. I don't know how long I stayed in there, wondering why and when this worm-like burrow was dug. But when I decided to proceed, I felt that my legs were aching. After moving forward a short distance, I reached a wide chamber which was full of blood-curdling strange statues. On its walls you could see signs of some erased, and now to a great extent unreadable writings or wall paintings. The air was dominated by some kind of thick, decaying smell, which caused me to cough frequently. From the opening of the tunnel, on the right and left walls of the chamber, there were some kind of statues which looked almost alive, so much that, just for a second, I thought that they would rise and start to walk. Which I thought depicted saurian-headed creatures with the bodies of men. So these would be the lizard people that we knew about from Canarium. For some reason, I'm fuzzy on where the lizard people tie in. I want to say that's part of the Elder Things, but I don't remember. I'm actually fuzzy on that. I need to go back and reread H.P. Lovecraft, especially since we play the games every year. I need to be current on the mythology, so I'm better at this. But I think they tie in because they seem to be a recurring theme with the Elder Things. There was another figure which seemed to depict a ruler similar to the hybrid statues on the walls, who was sitting on his throne and watching one of those creatures being sacrificed. This scene was depicted with such realism that no one could look at it without feeling a sense of terror. Okay, just out of curiosity, actually, I'll tab out really quick and check. The Saurians tie into the Elder Gods, not the Elder Things, which are very distinctly different entities in the H.P. Lovecraft universe. Anyway, moving on. When I got close to the figure sitting on its throne, I noticed that some kind of smoke was leaking in from the gaps that were behind the concrete throne. In fact, this was not easily discerned, because if not for the wind which was blowing the smoke inside, I wouldn't have noticed it at all. I heard some sounds coming from behind those gaps which allowed the wind and smoke to enter. The presence of these gaps made me believe that there may be other chambers below that one. If so, this could be an important archaeological discovery. I jumped with fright on hearing some noises that were certainly coming from beyond the tunnel in the depths of the pitch-black well. I immediately entered the tunnel, intent on locating the source of the noises. In spite of my strong flashlight, visibility was limited. Through weary eyes, it may have been a momentary illusion, or the enormously magnified shadow of a rat being illuminated by my flashlight beam. But I saw, or I think I saw, something moving down there. I jumped with fright because of this, but only later would I realize the thing that shocked me and caused me to wake up from the nightmares and listen, shivering to the sounds that came from beyond the darkness that, like a thick blanket, covered the places where merciful moonlight cannot reach. While I attempted to see something with my flashlight within the gluttonous darkness, I heard a feeble voice that came from some faraway place, calling out something like, "Come." The voice was very similar to that of Iva's familiar, low-pitched voice. That's creepy. Through the effect of that shock, I threw my flashlight into the dense and dreary darkness, and with both hands free I dashed to the cold, damp, and rusty metal ladder, which, at this time, seemed to me as though it were aeons old. While I was climbing up, and without daring to look down, I caused a piece of the ladder to be broken off, and it fell into the pitch darkness. Maybe because of the comforting feeling provided by this incident, I managed to reach the top and get out of that well. The next morning, when I woke up to my bedroom bathed in sunlight, I thought that all the events were just illusions, merely caused by excessive weariness and insomnia. I reached another conclusion. Maybe Ivar was right about the restoration. This sort of place has very important features invisible to the naked eye. Hence I decided to leave the house as it is now. I am not going to make any further efforts to restore the house. Why is there a blank page? It's really weird. Okay. Alright, so let's go through this door, then we'll go through the door into the stairwell. Or we won't go through that door, it's locked. That one's not. It's much colder in here than the other parts of the house. Also, there's a lot of moths in this house. Strange. Okay, we're not going in here because that leads to the well. We're going to do that last. We don't want to attempt, whatever the hell's down there just yet. All right, so let's check the doors on the right first. That's a hell of a study. Wow, that's a lot of books. Ooh, masks. These look very threatening. They certainly look creepy. I wouldn't say threatening. There are a lot of different masks here. And I think they're African. So is that just a guess, or do you have, like, a degree? Okay, hearing the noises in the background, not helping. What the heck is this thing? This pot looks authentic. Authentic what? A specific culture? What authentic what? A carved wooden mask. One of many displayed here. Evidently Mr. Field had an interest in these. To say the least. Alright, so the only thing I can click on is nothing, apparently. That's really odd. And I can't interact with the rest of this. Let's move forward. So we got phones, papers we can't interact with. None of this can be interacted with. We got a book we can click on. We can click on these papers. Enough with the creaking. Okay, what are these books? mind. I can zoom in on them, but I can't do squat with them. The desk calendar, which has some dates that have been marked. So, January, 7th? And 23rd? As well as February 4th and 14th. Okay. What's the significance of this? Alright, what is this? This note is about a manuscript. An indication of strange interest Mr. Field had. Am I not allowed to pick it up or read it? That's a little strange. I can't click on the mask. Okay. It's weird that I could zoom in, but I can't actually interact with it. Stop that. Alright, so I can't interact with the book at all, which is surprising. I thought I'd be able to. And I can't interact with the phone. It's really weird that it's letting me zoom in on so many things that I can't do anything with. This large library contains books whose subject matter ranges from magic to the occult to geography and history. Oh, magic and the occult to geography and history. That makes more sense. The majority of them are very old and difficult to obtain. How would you know that? You're a police officer. You're not exactly a historian. The hell? Hi. What the... Okay then. There's, this weird guy, and, I'm gonna go now. So obviously we have something to do with him later. Alright, what about this book? Okay, here we go. These notes describe recordings that Mr. Field made. How many pages are we looking at? 4, 6, 8, 9. In my teenage years, it was my only joy to examine and roam the places that rumors had been spread. Human lifestyle was not for me. I always searched for ways of the inhuman. I visited old cemeteries full of dread, old ruined buildings, and spent most of my time in these places which were suffused with the black veil of myths and rumors. One day I bought a sound recorder and started to record the environmental sounds of those desolate places where I had been spending my time alone. Fairly soon I had a large collection of recordings. Some nights, when I couldn't sleep, I used to put my headphones on and listen to those sounds which seemingly did not belong to this world. When carefully heeded, the sounds almost materialized to be touched. Genus loci could be heard. Okay, I need to alt-tab out real quick. I need to know what the hell that means. Hold on. Okay, I'm glad I finally looked that up. Genius loci is the spirit of a place. So it's like the god or ghost of a certain location, which is a creepy concept. The sounds almost materialized to be touched by the spirit of the location could be heard. That's creepy. When my secret treasure trove was discovered by my family, because Jonathan blabbed about it, all my recordings were destroyed. They forced me to go to a psychologist for 1 year. I can still remember how Jonathan used to call me a ghoul around that time. It's not normal behavior, but yeah, it's the kind of extreme reaction to all of that. Anyway, against all odds, I never abandoned this, I think I can say, passion. Men never abandon the things that are bound up in their hearts. Even if they are suppressed, they never forget. When I was just 22 years old, Jonathan and I became solely responsible for my father's company. I had no time whatsoever for anything else but work. I was so happy when I took over the company from my father. I will never forget that period of my life. Today I bought myself a new tape recorder. As I said earlier, I would never abandon my passion. I can now pursue my interests in a serious and mature way, without the recklessness of youth. My personal thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. You all are awesome viewers. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. It means a lot to me, and I do hope you enjoyed. You all take care of yourselves. If you want to see more of me, keep up the video on the list, or stay tuned for more. Feel free to leave a comment below, and please remember to tap that like button if you enjoyed the video. In the meantime, fare thee well, everyone.